Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Depends on wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to another amazing episode of AMDOR Analytics podcast titled Is Consistency More Important Than Talent in Tech? This is a very crucial topic. As a consultant, most of the time I hear things like, oh, Chika, is consistency more important than talent in tech careers? I want to transition into tech, but however, I heard that consistency matters than skills. So today we'll be breaking all of that down. So with me, I have an super amazing and talented guest. But before I proceed to, introduce him, I would like to introduce myself and introduce Amdoranalytics. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another amazing episode of AMDOR Analytics podcast titled Is Consistency More Important Than Talent in Tech Careers? My name is Chika and I will be your host for tonight. I'll be your host for today. It depends on wherever you're watching. Right. So before I introduce our super talented guest, right, I would like to introduce AMDA Analytics. I'm sure most of us watching already is familiar with AMDA Analytics and knows what we'll do here. But for the sake of those who will be coming across this video for the very first time, right, so I'll briefly introduce AMDA Analytics and we dive into the real matter for the day. So at AMDOR Analytics is actually a leading edtech company, right? So we are dedicated to empowering professionals and aspiring tech talents through their hands-on experience program. We specialize in some of today's most in-demand skills, such as data analytics, business analytics, AI engineering, data engineering, AI automation, cybersecurity, and all tech careers, not all tech careers per se. We actually have our specialties, which is business analytics, HR analytics, data engineering, data science, data analytics, cybersecurity, AI engineering, and AI automation. So if you want to transition into one of all these careers I mentioned, or maybe you want to transition into tech. However, you're confused. You don't even know the career path which is actually suitable for you. So reach out to us. We will do due diligence by guiding you through your tech career. Right. So I'll be introducing our super talented guests. So with me here, I have Ayomide Dipeolu. I hope I didn't murder your name, right? So Ayomide is actually an AI engineer. Yes, you're actually looking at an AI engineer, a very smart one at that. Ayomide is an AI engineer. He studied electrical and electronics engineer in the university with first class honors. My guests deserve a round of applause. First class honors is not easy. If it's easy, run it. Right. He's also a Python backend developer and has been into tech space for years now. He's currently working as an AI engineer for Optimus AI Lab in Lagos State. So hi, AY. Hi, Ayomide. I can call you AY. Hi, Ayomide. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I hope you had a great day.
Yeah, I actually worked from home today, so yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
had time.
good. That's one of the advantage of working in tech, of being in tech. You see, just heard my tech my host, my guest rather, he said he works from home. So if you know you want to work from home, you don't want the stress of waking up in the morning, juggling transport, juggling buses, having issues with conductor here and there. Please come to tech, work from home. As you can see, I'm currently working from home, and my guest as well says he's work from home. You can actually work from home, work smart, and earn big money. That is why transitioning into tech is very important. My guest is actually a very young, aspiring young man, talented young man, talented AI engineer, right? So, Ayomide has been in this tech space for a couple of years now. He works as an AI engineer for Optus Lab. So, hi, AY. I have a couple of questions to ask you today,
No
right? So I'll
problem.
start with the first one. So remember, if you're just joining us, the topic of our podcast today is consistency more important than talent in tech careers? So my first question for my guest is, in AY, Ayomide, in this tech industry, can consistency eventually outperform natural talents? Right? That's one. And why do you think many successful professionals emphasize consistency over skills alone?
All right. Okay. So before I even go into consistency, eventually like outperforming talent, I would start first with what is talent? Okay. So to me personally, I feel like talent is this natural ability to do certain stuffs with ease and at like an higher level with very little or no training at all. So I think that's what talent is. Then for consistency, so I'll just define consistency as just regularly turning up to like a certain duty or a certain task. So yeah, personally, okay. So the question you asked is a nice one first. So I feel like both are actually things that should work hand in hand. Okay, so because talent on its own is a bit static. Okay, so when I say it is static, so from the definition, we say talent is natural. Okay, so it comes naturally. It's something that you can even see within a person. So there are times when you just look at how someone does something, or like how well someone does something, and you're like, oh, this person looks talented at this, maybe singing or maybe at maths or something. So, but I would say consistency comes with overcoming barriers you get. So that's one thing that comes with consistency. So consistency for me, so personally for me, okay, so when I got into school, that was university FUNAB. So like my usual ways of doing things from my secondary school was usually when it was close to exams, you get like you start preparing for the paper like a night before, or let's say a week before. Okay, so but what I noticed when I got to school was, yeah, the curriculum was a bit more advanced. Okay, the maths were like more advanced, the chemistry were like a step further compared to what we did in secondary school. And I found it a bit hard to cope because I was not actually below average, to be honest, but I was below what I should like. I was below the level I should have performed at. Okay, yeah. So around my 200 level, so I met these guys. These guys were, I'll call it, they were very, very, very good at whatever it's. We were in the same department as well. So yeah, so the guys like one of the guys like, told me that a day never goes by without him opening his book for at least I think an hour or 30 minutes or so. So from there, I began to develop the habit of, okay, let's try to open book like at least like 30 minutes a day you get. So I did it for like a week. Then I noticed that I began to like gain interest in a month. Then before I knew it, my grades were up and all. So, and I think the same thing works with tech too as well. So I would say talent is never enough. Okay, so consistency builds character, consistency builds interest, consistency builds so there's this thing consistency gives you, and especially when you are like faced with challenges and you are consistent at what you are doing. So it gives you this mindset that yeah, no matter what comes my way, yeah, I will always overcome. So that's what consistency gives you. So I just feel like talent on its own is static. Okay. So yeah.
Thank you
Yeah. So
so much,
did you
Ayomide,
get
for that
all I
answer.
said,
Ayomide said
Chika?
consistent. Yes, yes, I can. I can. Can you hear me? So thank you so much, Ayomide, for that answer. Right. Ayomide said
Okay.
consistency, talent is never enough. Talent is not enough, right? So even if you're talented, you still need to be consistent in what you're
Yeah, I
doing,
can
right? You can be
hear
very
you.
talented, you
I
can be
can
super
hear you.
talented, super smart, but you still need, okay. I think your network is lacking behind, but you still need consistency to show up. You still need to be consistent, right, to actually reach the top. Thank you so much for that. So the second question I have for you: how can someone with little or no tech background use consistency to successfully transition into fields like AI, cybersecurity, and data analytics? Hi, Ayomide, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I got some percent. So yeah, yeah. Chika.
Okay, so you can go ahead and answer the question.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, yeah. So I would start over again. So what the question you asked was how can someone that has no background in tech transition into tech with consistency. So I would say I myself, so given the fact that I studied engineering, okay, we can say it's a bit related to tech, but it was not entirely tech because we did a lot of wiring and a lot of engineering stuff you get. So, but I would say one thing that matters the most, and I've said it before, is that so for someone that is willing to start now, I'll just say you start in UI UX, data analytics, data science, AI engineering. I would say just pick a skill, okay, then dedicate at least 30 minutes a day to it for the next, so let's say for the next 1 month. Let's start from 1 month. Okay, just pick a skill, then dedicate 30 minutes every day to it. So when I say dedicate 30 minutes a day, so there are days where you exceed 30 minutes, but the standard is you don't go below 30 minutes, you get, so you can time yourself. Okay, so then if you do that consistently for a month, so at the end of the month, you can. So another thing I think is very important is in the place of starting tech. So I think you need mentors too. So because there's this place of accountability with consistency too. So like you have to be able to be accountable to someone. Okay, so that's the place of a mentor. So I myself, I had a friend. Okay, he was a friend and he was also a mentor. He was a colleague of mine too. So we studied the same because we're at the same level. But I regarded him as a mentor because every time I take a challenge to learn something, usually like I'm accountable to it. So he gives me deadlines. So he says either learn this for a week, learn this for okay, let's say 30 days and all like that. So with the place of consistency too. So for someone starting especially, I think you need a mentor, yeah, for accountability. So someone that's okay at the end of 30 days can access how well you've learned, okay, and it's good your mentor is actually someone in the like someone that actually like is working already, you get, so someone that already has idea and has that experience with the job market already, not someone that both of you guys are like learning. It's not bad to have someone that both of you are learning together and being accountable to each other, but I think it's much better when you have someone maybe above you doing better than you get, so he can like put you through and like correct you on certain mistakes. So I'll just say I'll wrap up with the fact that okay, just start small. Okay, for someone willing to learn, you start small, then you stay consistent. So you can go as low as 20 minutes a day, and 20 minutes a day is a lot. Like if you take 20 minutes a day to learn, like read a book, whatever it might be, whatever skill it might be, it might even be exercise. You just take 20 minutes every day to work out, whatever it might be. Over a stretch of a month, you will notice you are beginning to gain mastery, or you are beginning to like enjoy whatever it is you are doing if you do it consistently for a month. Yeah. So that's how I feel like you should start. Yeah. If you are new to the tech space, if you're a newbie or you're confused, whatever it might be. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ayomide, for that. Ayomide said start small, at least 30 minutes per day, right?
Yeah.
30 minutes per day, it actually sounds it sounds like what's 30 minutes? I can do it. But trust me, 30 minutes per day can actually go a long way. Learning 30 minutes per day, be it data engineering, data science, data analytics, AI engineering, cybersecurity, crafting out 30 minutes from your time every day, each day. If you do that consistently for like 1 month, trust me, your growth will be very, very massive. And another thing my guest said I really loved, he said you need a mentor, right? At Amdoranalytics, with our training programs, you have benefits of having a mentor, a lifetime mentor, somebody you can actually run to even after the training, right? This mentor, you still have the contact of this mentor. This person still mentors you, right? So all through your course, the course of the training, you are not there alone. Of course, you have other students who you'll be learning with. You have learning peers. You have learning partners who you'll be accountable for, right? But you also need a mentor in the tech ecosystem. You need somebody who is better than you, just like you said. You need somebody who is above you, right? You need somebody who can tell you, oh, I think you didn't do this right. I think why not try this way? Why not do it like this? And that is what we do over here at AMDA Analytics. Trust me, it's not just a training at AMDA Analytics. It's actually a whole experience. It's an experience because from the very first time you start your training, down to your mentorship, down to CV upgrade, down to LinkedIn optimization, there's a whole lot of benefits. So it's not just training at AMDA Analytics. It's also an experience. Thank you so much, Ayomide. So the third question is, what are the common mistake or the common habits or routine that separates consistent tech professionals from those who rely only on talent?
Mm, okay. 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 So this one sounds a bit tricky. Okay, but so I think if I'm to get what you're saying, you're asking what habits do consistent professionals do that talented people tend to like do differently? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That makes sense. Okay, so I've met like being in the tech space, I've met several people and I've met I'll call them geniuses because these guys they're like superb at algorithms and tech and like naturally, like it's not like they don't learn, they are consistent but like naturally, like when they started, we all started together, you get to, but these guys are really, really good at what they do. And what I notice about them is so usually like for these guys that I call geniuses, talented people, one thing I notice about them is so when they have this brain capacity to like withhold everything, their thoughts, plans, everything like in their head. You get like they have this ability to organize thoughts like well in their head. And for me, it's not like I'm not smart or all and all, but like usually like the way I prefer to do things is I prefer writing things down. You get like when I write it down, because at times I forget some of these things that I've thought about or some things that I've probably solved in my head. But when I don't write it down, I might tend to forget when like I get occupied with other stuff. So usually what I notice with people that are not so talented, so people who are more talented is they tend to like write things down like from time to time. You get they have so writing things down does not necessarily mean you hold pen and paper and you just always have to. So at times they do some of these things on like softwares. There are apps that you could use. There are notes, note takers. There are, I think Notion too is one of these app you can use to organize like your routines and all. So usually I notice that about people who are not so talented compared to people who are talented. Like those who are talented tend to like hold stuffs in their head. Like they have this ability to like withhold like more info in their head and all. So another thing I think not so talented. So the me mentioning not so talented is making it sound small, but like people who are like very consistent at what they do is they they are usually more concerned about so when so I have to give this example. So when there's like a product, okay, let's say you guys are building a product, let's say an app, a web application. So people who are consistent are usually after the fact that let's get this app to production like real quick, like let this app start running. You get, let's achieve MVP and let's push this app to like deployment and all. You get, so I hope that's not too technical, but like let's just get this app running. You get, so but when you look at people who are like very talented, they are more or less like, yeah, let's perfect certain things before this app goes into. So like they take their time like more, they take more time like to like dissect things, they try to check, they try to test. They are like more of perfectionists. You get, like they try to make sure this thing is fully perfect before it is like pushed to like general public. But you see those who are consistent, what they after majorly is let this thing get working. You get, so when it gets working we can always like improve it from time to time. So I think those are like some of the things that I like, habits that I noticed between like those who are like very consistent to those who seem to be like more talented here.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer. Thank you for that
Yeah.
clarity. So, my
Yeah.
last question for you today, in a fast changing industry like tech, which is more important for long term success? Is it being naturally talented or being adaptable rather, being adaptable, disciplined, and consistent? So, which one do you think, as someone who has actually been in the tech industry for a while now, so which one do you really think is actually more important for long time target and long term success? Is it being naturally talented or being
Okay.
adaptive, disciplined, and consistent?
Okay. Okay. So this has been the last question. Okay. So there's this parable in the Bible. So I'll not go into like full details of what exactly the Bible verse said, but there's this parable about talents where a master gave certain talents to like three of his servants. And then when the master returned, he asked that what did they use their talents to achieve. So I think two of them were able to like multiply their talents. Then the last one, actually, so if you look at that story now, the last one was, it was not like he wasted his talents. He did not waste it, but he did not just do anything with it. So it was as if there was no action at all from his end. And I think the master had to like collect from him. And also like one thing about talent, and I would say it over and over again, is talent is static without like effort. So talent on its own, it's not enough. Okay, so what talent gives you is it gives you this exposure, like it makes you noticeable. So like usually like me, I don't know if other people are the same, but when you see someone with talents, like when the person does something for you, you tend to like notice that okay, this person looks more talented than maybe someone else you've seen done that same thing. You get, so talent gives you that noticeability, you get. But I think consistency makes you relevant, because if you look at this tech space, especially the AI world, so when I started tech in 2022, started machine learning, sorry, fully in like 2022. So what we used to do then were the traditional methods of training models, where we had to like clean the data, do that, fine tune, split the data, train, then do all of those. So, but if you look at what we do now, like a lot of these processes are, I'll not say they are obsolete, you get, because the foundation of LLMs are built on those principles still. But like if you look at what we do now, like in jobs, if you are being employed to be like an ML engineer or an AI engineer, the procedures have changed. Like we do a lot of either LLM fine tuning or API calls to like models like OpenAI and Claude. So I would say from time to time we have like new updates, and new updates means you have to consistently learn. So if you don't stay on that path of consistently learning, I think you'll be left behind, especially in the AI space, where like literally like every month we have companies like Anthropic, OpenAI, the likes of Gemini and co, like releasing like new models that could like that supersedes the previous one. So from time to time you have to like stay up to date and like consistently like update yourself on these things. So I would say consistency like overrules like everything, but consistency with talent is like is like one of the best things you could have. Like when you are like talented naturally, then you now like stay on that consistent path as well of like learning and like improving yourself. Yeah. So they work hand in hand.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayomide, for that super amazing answer. So consistently in improving yourself. So when we say consistent and consistent, it goes way beyond what some people feel. Some people feel maybe okay when they say those consistency. Yes, consistency in improving yourself because you actually took a training, for instance, because you actually took a data analytics training in 2025 does not mean you should not improve yourself. There are people who every year they make sure they take one training just to consistently upgrade their skills, right?
Yeah.
So consistency goes beyond okay showing up. Some people
Yeah.
feel okay, consistency is just okay. I wake up in the morning, I show up to work. No, you can be building yourself consistently, show up consistently, upgrade yourself, upgrade your skills. I know somebody who said at least in a month she would make sure she actually read one book. That is consistency. And I was like, really? She said, yes. Imagine in a year, she reads 12 books in every year. Each year, she said last year she read 12 books, and this year she has already started. This person is very busy. When I mean this person is also in the tech ecosystem, she's a data analyst and she's a big one at that, but still she's still doing it consistency, not because she does not have time or she's not busy, she does not have so much things she's doing, but she's using it to improve herself, to improve her skills and to upgrade herself. There's somebody who I've actually come in contact with somebody who said at least every once in every quarter I make sure I take a training, right? I was like, but you're already good at your craft. She said, yes, because I'm doing that just to be ahead of trends. Tech is all about trends. Just like you
Yeah.
said, the model that they were using before, it's no longer what it used to be. That's what tech is all about. Tech evolves, right? Today it
Yeah.
can be today everybody is just saying AI, AI, AI. There was a time it was cyber security. There was a time everyone wants to become a data analyst. There was a time it was data analyst. Everyone wants to, analyze data, everybody wants to clean data, use raw data, turn raw data into insights. But right now it feels like it's AI automation, AI engineering. Everybody's going towards the path of AI. I know someone who actually started as a data analyst. From a data analyst, she grew to data scientist. From the career part of a data scientist, she grew to a data engineer, and now she's thinking of going into the
Wow.
AI engineering space. That is what consistency does, right? She's consistently building herself, upgrading herself. So when we say consistency, it goes beyond showing up. People think it's just, oh, wake up in the morning. They said I should be consistent. Yeah, I wake up in the morning. Yes, it goes beyond that. You can be consistent in taking trainings, upgrading your skills, consistent in meeting the right people, consistent
Yeah.
in meeting mentors who can actually mentor you. And that's
Yeah.
where AMDOR Analytics comes in. At AMDA Analytics, we don't just provide quality trainings. We don't just provide hands-on practical trainings. We actually mentor you from the very scratch. We hold your hands, mentor you stage by stage, step by step, until you become that career person, that career person that you actually want to be. So thank you so very much, Ayomide. It's been an amazing time with you. So just the very last one. I know I said the last question was the last one, but this
Yeah.
time around, meaning. So just tell me, what advice would you give to anyone who
Okay.
wants to talk to, you're an AI engineer, right? So
Yeah.
we have a couple of AI engineers, those aspiring AI engineers and aspiring techies who would see this video. So what advice shortly will you give to them? Though some are actually confused. Some will say, oh, today I want data analytics, tomorrow is business analytics, next tomorrow is AI engineering. So what advice will you give any aspiring professional who want to tow or who want to transition into the tech space?
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I'll just say I'll just list out things that worked for me. Okay. So I think the first thing is the place of a mentor. Okay. So like I would say mentorship was like more important. That was like the most that was like the most important factor in where I am today. Even okay, yeah, I think I put in some effort at some point, but I think the mentorship was like the major like push, because it was through mentorship I got my first job in tech. It was through mentorship I was able to like complete my first end-to-end machine learning project and all. So I would say mentorship matters a lot. Then aside mentorship, okay. So what mentorship gives you is you learning the right thing first. You get, so if you have a mentor that is already like working and all, he knows what is needed in the job like world. So lead you on what to learn and what not to like waste your time on. So then aside being mentored, I would say the next thing is consistency, because you have to just keep doing this stuff like regularly. Like it has to become like an habit. You get like the way people tend to like just develop habits in like smoking and all, like tech too is something that you can like develop an habit and you just enjoy. At some point you just see yourself like enjoying it and you can't even go a day or two without like laying your hands on stuff. You get, so that place of consistency too matters, because a mentor can only like do his best to like put you on the right track. You get, but if you decide to sabotage yourself and you don't take the courses he tells you to take, or he gives you a project and you tend to like ignore some of his advices, yeah, it won't turn out well. You get, so I think the place of consistency too always matters. And I'll say the one of the things you could do to like edge yourself over like others, because there are a lot of people in this space too. So one way to put yourself out there is by regularly, like from time to time, you can like post whatever it is you are doing. So I feel like there's nothing too small to post. Even if you write print hello world and that's your first time in tech, yeah, you can go ahead and post it on LinkedIn. There's someone somewhere seeing you post some of these things, and if you do it over a stretch of time, you begin to like get DMs from companies, you begin to get DMs from HRs, and they begin to tell you, oh yeah, I've seen some of your works. I've gotten DMs like that, so I know like this thing works. You get, so when you post what you do, even during your learning phase, so you just post it from time to time, you begin to like get that recognition. And I think recognition too is another way to stand out. So skill and consistency are not enough when you're building in isolation or when you're learning in isolation. So you need to like put yourself out there. And one way to put yourself out there, one of the best platforms to do it is, I think, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the number one platform because we have a lot of users on LinkedIn. So most professionals have LinkedIn accounts, most companies have LinkedIn accounts. You get, so when you post your like your learning parts, your updates, you finish a project, you post it on LinkedIn, you post the demo video and all, post the GitHub repo and all, like stuff like that. From time to time, you begin to gain that recognition, and before you know it, you just start noticing like DMs and all. So I think those three things, mentorship, consistency, then building public too. So I think those three things are like what matters. Like there are other factors that matters, but I feel like those three are like key to me.
Thank you so much. That's a super amazing answer, right? Thank you so much. I'm sure those who have been watching, those who are currently watching us, who are confused with what you just said, they already know what to do, right? Ayomide mentioned mentorship. He has been overemphasizing on mentorship, mentorship. That's because in the tech space, mentorship is very important. So that's where we come in at Amdoranalytics. We don't just train you, we also mentor you. Like from the very first day you register with us down to the last day of your training, down to even when you've gotten a job, you're still stuck, you feel stuck, because some people can actually be working and they still feel stuck. You can still reach out
Yeah.
to us, right? So that's where Amdor Analytics comes in. And he also said something about showing up. Showing up. regardless. So we have this 30 days challenge on LinkedIn we usually do for our students. So they get to post consistently for 30 days on LinkedIn. What is the benefit of that? It's just to show themselves up, to sell themselves, right? It's
Yeah.
just another way of them selling themselves. Oh, saying, oh, at Amdoranalytics, I'm studying a course, AI engineering course, and you list those things that you've actually gained, those things you've learned. It's just a way of you showing yourself. So you see, we actually had a student, that one student that actually joined the 30 days even before she finished her program, because our program lasted, the last cohort was for 3 months. Before the end of the 3 months, she already had somebody in her DM on LinkedIn waiting for her, saying, I want to employ you. We want you in our organization. That's what consistently showing off actually does, right? Show up and show up. You don't know who is watching, just like Ayomide said, you don't know who is watching. Recruiters can be watching. Somebody's somewhere can actually be watching and say, oh, I really like what this person is doing. I really like what this lady is doing. I really like her post. And I think this person come off like someone who is very smart, who is very who knows what she's doing. You don't know. From there, you can actually land a job. A couple of people have actually landed jobs, international jobs, paying very well, paying in dollars, paying so high via LinkedIn, right? So thank you so very much, Ayomide. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. It's actually a pleasure having a super talented young person, young AI engineer, right? Come to our podcast. So thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, everyone that is currently watching, those who will watch later. Thank you, thank you. If you want a quality training, please come to Amdoranalytics. And yes, before I forget, we're currently running a 90% discount offer across all our trainings. So if you want to take trainings in data analytics, business analytics, AI engineering, cybersecurity, HR analytics, AI automation, please come to Amdoranalytics. We are currently running a 90% discount offer. Yes, you heard that, 90% discount offer. You can search for us on our website, www.amdoranalytics.io, or you can actually search for us on all socials at official Amdor Analytics. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you, Ayomide, for this amazing podcast. See you in our next one. Bye, guys. Bye.